Hi, this is Genesis with Genesis, the beginning of something beautiful, and I'm coming to you today with another tutorial. I just want to talk to you guys today about why the divine masculine is acting a fool out here in these streets. Now, I'm getting more comfortable. Just bear with me, please, because I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera. I was watching myself on some of the other tutorials that I did, and I was kind of critiquing myself. I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I just want to get this information out here to you guys and talk to you all as a friend and as a person that's, um, you know, I'm just trying to help people with this information and, talk about the downloads that I receive and the research that I've, done and things like that. I don't know if I've talked to you guys if you've seen my other tutorials earlier, but I'm an extraterrestrial contactee to a group of Anunnaki and Draconians in the inner earth. And I'm also a direct contactee to the Andromedan bloodline in the Sirius constellation. I just wanted to talk to you guys, like I said, why divine masculine is acting a fool out here in these streets. That's what I'm going to talk about. But I'm talking to you as, a earthling, as a Andromeda Insectilian female, as a woman who is, I always stress the importance of representing your bloodline, um, and walking in your bloodline, knowing your bloodline and knowing how things are going. Now, okay, we're going to talk about why divine masculine is acting a fool out here in these streets. Now, what happened with my particular bloodline, the Anunnaki, excuse me, the Andromedan bloodline. And there are two sectors to the Andromedan bloodline. There's the full Andromedan, and there's the Andromedan Insectilian sector, which are hybrids. So those are the two sectors of the Andromedan bloodline, melanin, feminine, dominant energy. Now, what happened? All karmics, the Reptilian Federation took control of all karmics, including the karmic males, which are made and created by the Andromedan Insectilian bloodline. Andromeda Insectilians are fifth dimensional beings who we can make our own genetic entities naturally through the physical realm and also through the metaphysical realm. We create light bodies, such as the Andromeda Insectilian light body, which is a metaphysical being, and we also create karmics. They can genetically create third dimensional males who are karmic males who don't have a soul, or who they were originally the reason that the Andromeda Insectilian originally created the karmic male, the 3D male, of the Andromeda Insectilian, so that he could become a walk-in. As a collective, the divine on the last three timelines, the last three lifetimes, the divine put the Andromeda Insectilian, which would be divine feminine, for instance, with our Andromeda Insectilian male, who's our extraterrestrial direct counterpart, which is the divine masculine. We were supposed to get together, which we did. Our energy of the divine feminine was our energy, our sex energy, was supposed to, and our metaphysical energy in this region was supposed to raise the frequency of divine masculine so that he could become a walk-in, meaning a soul could come in, his soul from 5D could walk into that body. That was the plan. And it was working because by the divine feminine being with the divine masculine, and by us raising the frequency of that body, he was about to become a walk-in. It opened up his higher root, it opened up his heart root chakra at least. And when you're dealing with people from your bloodline, you turn on each other's DNA. It's like, everything that you do, it's recorded in your DNA, you know. So the history that you had with your twin flame, even if your twin flame is a karmic body, it's still there in the DNA, because a lot of those beings, we had those twin flame unions with divine masculine, divine feminine, they're ancient unions, And we've never been this low where we're in separation to this degree due to the fact that he doesn't have a soul. So what happened, they would the divine put us with our divine masculines, and it wasn't a blank mission. It wasn't like, oh, they put us with him as a collective in order for us to fail. It was gonna work. But the Reptilian Federation, after the fact, gained control of all karmics, including the karmic males from the Andromeda Insectilian bloodline. So that's where things completely, went left, and it was just a disaster. And this is why you have the tarot card readers on YouTube. They're like the spiritual commentators, and I love a lot of them. I have only maybe two that I look at. I look at some, but I don't want to, I look at them, maybe I just have two that I look at because I don't want to overboard myself with all these different tarot card readers. You just want to, and I want to get my own downloads from the divine, and I don't want too much interference. But anyway, they're like spiritual commentators, and basically they're helping to heal the divine feminine after our karmic males chose the karmic over us. But that was due to the reason they did that was because the Reptilian Federation got control of all karmics, including our karmic males. And that wasn't supposed to happen. You have these different galactic governments, like you have the Reptilian Federation, you have the Galactic Council, and they negotiate, these extraterrestrial beings negotiate about the people that come from their extraterrestrial bloodlines and what's going to happen, and what we're going to do next, and the politics of all that. And this shift in consciousness is a major shift in consciousness. So you have a changing of the guards. Anytime you have another group that's going to take on the dominant position, it's always going to be some bullshit. Like, it's never going to be a smooth transition. It's always going to be a bumpy, it's going to be some chaos, because the old system, the old cycle, the people that used to be in position and dominating the system, they're going to want to try to hold on and maintain control, and they're not going to want to give that up. So the reason divine masculine is out here acting a fool out here in these streets is because he doesn't have a soul. Soul energy matters. When you was with your twin flame, you were together, mind, body, and soul. And soul energy matters. He doesn't have a soul, so he needs energy. So this is why you have this operation. The reptilian had the operation of the worship of the anus. So when you see them out here having sex with everything, the prostitution culture, the stripper culture, the promiscuity and things like that, the competition, the third party situations, the deceit, the manipulations, and all of that. When you have that going on, that's part of that reptilian agenda. So because the Reptilian Federation got control of our karmics, he turned on us. So he turned on us. He wanted to prove to himself that he could do it without the divine feminine, because they under a narcissistic programming, and no narcissists, they don't want to feel like they need you. But the karmic masculine, he need us, we don't need him. So when he got with his karmic or whatever, it didn't work because they played each other. And so karmics cancel out karmics. So now he's trying to run back to the divine, and that's not working. Like, for instance, when I go out, I've been out to the lounge, like to the club or whatever, the past couple of weeks. And now you're seeing like all these black dudes trying to like get up on you and stuff. It's like, and that's how it plays out in 3D. It plays out as racism or, race or whatever, but it's really extraterrestrial. And it's like, they really, the Andromedan male went against his own bloodline. You see what I'm saying? He went with entities that do not have an alliance with him. Now, if you, okay, so let's say with me, I'm Andromedan insectilian because the Andromedan insectilian male, he doesn't have a soul. I made alliances, and ones like me made alliances through my extraterrestrial bloodline with Anunnaki and 3% of the Draco. So how it would look in 3D is a black man being with a black woman being with a white male. The black woman being Andromedan insectilian, such as myself, the white male being Anunnaki. Now, because I have an alliance with him, preconditioned and pre-made before we reincarnated into this system of 5D, by the way, that's okay because you have an alliance, your bloodline and his bloodline have an alliance. Now, what happened with the Andromedan males, when they got with the insectilian female, which is an ambiguous looking being, which will look like a black man and a white woman, when the Andromedan got with the Duro reptilian, which is which would look like, you know, a fat light skinned chick. These entities don't have alliances with the Andromedan bloodline. The Duro and the Insectilian have alliances with the reptilian bloodline. The reptilian bloodline is against the Andromedan bloodline. So when you see entities like a Kanye West with a Kim K, that's a bullshit operation right there, allegedly, because he's gotten with a bloodline that's against the Andromedan bloodline. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have an alliance. The Andromedans don't have an alliance with the Insectilian. The Insectilian, they are the type, they're going to go with whoever is winning. So in the previous cycle, the reptilian entities were winning as far as dominating the system. So the Insectilian made alliances with the reptilian. They didn't make alliances with the Andromedan because we were completely out of home court advantage. We were completely out of home court advantage, and the Andromedan is not even a part of third dimensional living, technically, under their system. So this is why the Bible says, be careful when you marry women of other nations, because this is the type of stuff you got to check out. You understand what I'm saying? So when you see our bloodline getting with the Insectilian, or our bloodline, the Andromedan, getting with the Duro, they're going to get devoured. As the Bible says, Satan beguiled Eve. You know, to beguile somebody is more than just to have sex with them or to destroy. It's like to have sex with them, devour them, destroy them. You know, so this is where we going left, the Andromedan. Now, look, we done had a 500 million year war. The Andromedans and the reptilians had a 500 million year war. There's no reason for the reptilians to be continuously kicking our ass at this point. But they're not kicking the ass of the divine feminine. Those, you know, like for instance, the Andromedan insectilians such as myself that come from these bloodlines, divine feminine. They're kicking the ass of our karmic male counterpart because he doesn't have a soul. That's why he out here in these streets acting a goddamn fool, because he doesn't have a soul. So he's looking for resources. You understand what I'm saying? But he's getting with entities that are not on he's on the wrong team. He's getting with entities that are not on his side. He's getting with entities that are not on his team. But I guess I don't think they give a shit. They act like they don't care, you know, like they're unaware because they don't have a soul. And soulless beings, you know, they're not the brightest or the smartest. You know, if you don't have a soul, you're like a shell of yourself. You're like a zombie walking around, you know. So this is why you're going to see the Andromedan male, Andromedan and the Andromedan insectilian male, they're going to be losing in the system of 3D. Now, what happened, okay, with all this being said, the reptilians, okay, once the Reptilian Federation got control of our karmic males, the Andromedan karmic males, it subjugated them under 3D because the reptilians, they're taking control of the remainder of 3D. That's what they wanted. These are the negotiations that they made with the Galactic Council after the fact, after the divine feminine was put with the divine masculine. You know, because they're sore losers and they wanted to fuck up the system as much as they could because they knew they had lost home court advantage. So what they did was, let me just get all this straight. They got control after the fact. Okay, so because of that, they're using our karmic males, because even though our Andromedan insectilians, for instance, are males, they generate energy because it's a fifth dimensional being. Even though it has a third dimensional body, it came from the divine. So it's the only thing that's generating energy. So they're using him to generate energy, to using him for his resources, for his sex energy. Because once they got control of all karmic males from the divine, they were able to take over the remainder of 3D. See, what was supposed to happen, that wasn't supposed to happen initially. What was supposed to happen, the Andromedan bloodline and the divine feminine was supposed to take over 3D, the remainder of 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, and 7D. Okay, third dimension through the seventh dimension in this region. But the reptilians, because they got control, the Reptilian Federation got control of our karmic males, they were able to take over the remainder of 3D. They were able to take over the remainder of 3D. So it plays out in your third dimensional world. So this is why, you have they were able to take over the remainder of 3D. I want to show you something. Hold on. I hope this can prove. I just want to prove my point of the reptilians taking over the remainder of 3D. And what they did, because they don't generate energy. You understand what I'm saying? They still kill and destroy. That was part of their mantra or whatnot. They still kill and destroy. So the energy that they're getting in order to take over the remainder of 3D is from the Andromedan's karmic males. Because even though, like I said, he has a karmic body, he comes from the divine. He's the only thing that they have that's generating the most energy that they have, and as far as sex energy and as far as just energy, period. And they're using him for resources. He's not getting anything out of that. The black man right now in 3D is the most subjugated man in the system. And it's like it doesn't bother him. That's how it looks in 3D. It's like it doesn't bother him because he doesn't have a soul. He's looking for energy. So I'm gonna prove to you the reptilian has taken control of the third dimension. Now, the remainder of 3D. So what's going to happen? You have people like me who operate at 5D, myself and my husband, and who Anunnaki. We operate at 5D, and you have 3D operating, and it's in the same space right now. It's right now it's occupying the same space in a sense. Well, it is, and you have two different dimensions operating the same space for now. So, okay, with the reptilian, like, okay, you got, this is my Ulta Beauty 21 Days of Beauty event. And you see this reptilian on here, Rihanna, she come from the reptilian bloodline. They got her on the front of the cover. You see what I'm saying? And they want this face representing the face of beauty and all that because the reptilian took over the remainder of 3D. But when you look inside the magazine, you got your draconian women, okay? These two chicks right here. These are from the draconian, even insectilian bloodline. They look insectilian. They actually look insectilian. They don't really look draconian because the draconians have dark hair or whatever, but they kind of look insectilian. After a while, they start doing all this plastic surgery on the lips and all that. It just becomes something else. But this is more of an insectilian bloodline. Okay, so like I said, notice they're inside the magazine. So they place different things in these magazines or whatever in a certain way. To give more shine to one person than it does the other. So this is what they do. But yeah, the reptilians took over the remainder of the third dimension. Okay, they took over the remainder of the third dimension. And we're going to get all that back. We're going to get everything that the devil stole. We're going to get it back because the reptilian bloodline, it's like they're inherently evil. It's a demonic what you could consider a demonic bloodline because it's a soulless bloodline. The Andromedan, and they're malevolent. The Andromedan bloodline is benevolent. We're genetically wired to be good, to be angelic, to be um, divine feminine. You have some entities, they're genetically wired for benevolent, to be good. You have some entities, they're genetically wired to be evil. And that's what the reptilian is versus the Andromedan. That's why they had we had a half a billion year war with them and all of that. So, because it's like we kind of look alike, but we don't. You know, the reptilian, they vibrate on a lower frequency than the Andromedan, and they wanted dominance, and they saw us as in the way of that dominance because we were here during the first matriarchy. We were the original beings here, and so the reptilian wanted to dominate, you know. So anyway, but yeah, this is the type of stuff you see. So that's why divine mass, you know, one thing about what's going on right now too is like the reptilian, they know how to manipulate everything, and they manipulate the narrative so they can always be a parasite on the life force. And you see a lot of entities that operate in 3D do this. They manipulate everything. They have their archon energy. They manipulate the narrative so that way they can always be a parasite on the life force. They've been using the life force. Excuse me, that's nothing new. They've been using the life force for over 6,100 years on this planet. This is the first time. This is the this is the first of the 3 Earths that's actually going into the shift. And this is the first time in a long time where they have not been able to utilize the life force in order to sustain themselves. Their last ditch effort to do that was still in the Andromedan and Sectilian, for instance, the Andromedan male karmics. That's their last ditch effort. So, you know, one thing I wanted to talk about, because you got to remember, divine masculine, he does not have a soul. So, you know, I do hear like the tarot card readers saying that he love us and all of that. I don't really believe that because, and no offense to them, but I don't believe that he loves divine feminine, because an entity that does not have a soul does not have the ability to love. Now, what did happen when we were dealing with our divine masculine, we did affect his heart root chakra. We were turning on their heart root chakras. Okay, that did happen. But once the Reptilian Federation got control of all karmic males, it went out. I mean, he chose the karmic over us and then ended up fucked up. So if the Reptilian Federation wouldn't have gotten control of the karmic male, then he would have been able to not only choose the divine, but he would have been able to become a walk-in and have a soul. And this reality would look totally, completely different, yo. It will be a total different place. But that didn't happen, you know, due to the fact that the Reptilian Federation got control of our karmic males, which is kind of unfair because they don't come from 3D. They came from our genetics and our bloodline. And we should be the ones taking accountability and responsibility for those karmic masculines. They should have been the ones that got a soul, but it just didn't work out that way. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily a smooth transition. So you had that going on. Let me think. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I don't think that he has the ability to love us. That, you know, they're going to try to, don't let these divine masculines fool you. The Reptilian Federation, they're going to play out the remainder of 3D. Okay? A third dimension. They're going to dominate what's left of the third dimension. So, you know, you got to remember, they've been doing this shit to divine feminine for the past 3 lifetimes, the past 3 timelines. They've been coming to, our karmic males have been our open enemy. And they were fucking with us in 3D, and, you know, playing this third party situation and sleeping around with everything and all of that. We just got saved from by the hair of our chinny chin chin. On this timeline is when the HIV came and a lot of the STDs. And we, you know, we got to thank God that a lot of us were not with our divine masculines, because 80% of our divine masculines, probably around 80%, are HIV positive. I know personally 3 of mine got HIV, if not full blown AIDS, personally. But I'm not going to say no names, but I know that for a fact. And a friend of mine who comes from my same bloodline, some of her karmic males, and a lot of she have a bunch of brothers from the Andromedan and Sectilian bloodline. She got a bunch of brothers, and they contracted the disease. Some of them by the same women that had sex with the men from my bloodline. So, and she's shown me medical records, okay, of different things. So we know this information, which is unfortunate, you know. And it's just good that a lot of us are not with our divine masculine. It's actually a blessing in disguise that we're not with him, that he chose the karmic over us, because we were able to escape and get out, because he's not trying to change or have a soul. Now, they have been doing the divine masculine. They've been, especially the three past timelines, the three past lifetimes, they've been kicking divine feminine ass. They dragged us for filth. So now that they see that there's a benefit in us, now they want to jump on. But you got to remember, they being controlled by the Reptilian Federation. Okay? They're being controlled and they've been brainwashed, controlled, and they like robots. They're our open enemies because they're working for the Reptilian Federation. Now he's trying to come back to the divine. And it's like they trying to like push themselves on you. They're stalking you on social media. And they're trying to like push themselves onto you. This is what I noticed. This is what I'm seeing. You know, and I don't like that. You know, we don't want to deal with you. Leave us alone. We don't want to fuck with you because you don't have a soul. And so we know what we're dealing with. So this is what happened. I don't believe that they love you. Hell no. They don't love you. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe we did affect their heart root chakra or whatever. Maybe we did affect it. You know, I'm leaving that up in the air. I don't really give a fuck if we did, because he don't have a soul. But yeah, that's the only reason. And I'm gonna just give a warning out to, you know, my divine feminines, when these karmic males come your way and they're pushy and things like that, and they're trying, because they're like trying to force themselves on you to be with them, so they can use you for a benefit, because they see that the melanated woman and the divine feminine is coming up. You know, just leave them alone, because they will lash out. They will get ugly because they're looking for energy. And they don't want, you know, narcissists hate rejection. They don't want to be rejected by the divine, but they're the ones that chose over us. They're the ones that rejected us. When you reject God, God will reject you. Hello? You know, when you reject God, God will reject you. But I'm just, you know, giving, you know, a warning out to the divine feminine. Just be careful of that. You know, because a lot of times when I'm out and I'm with my friends, and I'm out and about, you know, the black men now want to come around. This is what it looked like in 3D. The divine masculines want to come around now. They done called the black woman all kind of ugly fugly, and we ain't shit. And, you know, the black woman in America, we the bottom of the totem pole, the bottom of the barrel, and all this old bullshit. You know, now they want to act like they your friend and everything. They want to pay for your meal. You know, they want to invest in everything. Just be careful, because, you know, my husband was saying, when these motherfuckers, you know, paying for you and your friends or whatever, you know, they want somebody to give up something. And when they, with the women, and when we don't, they'll lash out. Because you can feel that. It's like, one thing about women, especially with black women, when we don't want you, we don't want you. If anybody will divest, it's a black woman. The men, it's like Gina and Pam on Martin. You know what I'm saying? He, like when Martin told Gina to step, and she was like, okay, fine. And he was screaming, Gina, Gina, Gina. This is how the divine masculine is doing us. It's like they dragged you for filth. You see what I'm saying? Chose over you. That shit didn't work. Now they trying to come back. My advice is, don't let them ho-hop between you and the karmic, because they'll try that too. They'll try to bounce between you and the karmics. Don't let them do that dumb shit. Cut them off. Keep those motherfuckers cut the fuck off. He does not have a soul. There's nothing he can do for you. He can't even pay for your drinks or your bill or your food bill or do nothing. He can't even carry my groceries to my car or from my car. Nothing. So that you have to completely cut them off, because you know, it's not even good to intermingle with them, because they don't have a soul. And it can be dangerous to deal with them, and they don't have a soul, because they're looking for energy and they want to dominate, and they will bounce back between you and the karmic. I don't even want you bouncing back thinking you can play me. I don't even want you bouncing back in between me and the karmic for conversation, because anything you do with me, I'm a soul being with, you know, a spirit, a soul, and a consciousness, and I give off a lot of energy. Just my conversation is energy. Just my smile is energy. You know, just me, giving you compliments and things like that. That's energy. You see what I'm saying? When you're giving someone attention, that's energy that you're emitting to them. You're not gonna even bounce between that. No, no, no. You can't trust them. They already when people show when people show you who they really are, you better believe them. So that's one thing I wanted to say about the karmic male, but it was unfortunate that he picked I'm telling you, he in bad shape. Okay, so you got the divine masculine is in bad fucking shape because the reptilian has taken over the remainder of 3D. They're using our divine masculines to facilitate this agenda. He's subjugated at the bottom of 3D right now. Okay, he's the most, even though he has the most genetic superiority, that system is inverted. He's the most subjugated inferior being in the system of 3D under the reptilian. He doesn't mind being subjugated, unlike the black woman. The divine masculine don't mind being subjugated because he does not have a soul and he's looking for energy. He's desperate. So what he does is he's going to try to fight to subjugate the black woman under him, which is not happening. Okay, been there, done that. Got this t-shirt to prove it. And we're 5D, been 5D. We just had to, click our heels and go back to Kansas. That's what Dorothy had to do on The Wizard of Oz. Click her heels, go back to Kansas, and always remember that it was always you. You could have always went back home. Okay, so this is what's happening. And so, yeah, so he's there. So keep in mind, for the past 3 timelines, divine masculine was kicking our ass. So for the remainder of 3D, which would be the Anunnaki, the Draco, and then him, for the next 3 times, and then the Andromedan, for the next 3 timelines, he's going to be getting his ass kicked in 3D. Divine masculine is the new dark-skinned black woman in America. Hello. He's going to be getting his ass kicked in 3D the same amount of time because what you give is what you get. You see what I'm saying? Because the reptilians took control of all karmics in 3D. So this is what's going on. So you don't want him, right now you can feel the energy too, like the melanated men, the men that are part of the divine with no soul, they stalking you, they all on your social media. All of a sudden now when you go out, to the bars or you go out to the lounge, they want to buy you drinks, they want to pay for your meal and all of this. You know what I'm saying? This is what y'all was doing for the white women. Because they willing to invest if they feel they're going to get a bigger return. I don't want nothing from it. You know what I'm saying? I already have a husband. I'm good. My Anunnaki, I'm straight. I got my alliance, my extraterrestrial alliances. I'm not getting with no other extraterrestrial being that don't have an alliance with me so they can fuck me over. So this is what's happening. Also, like a lot of the divine masculines, a lot of them, they're having a spiritual awakening. Like I said, they don't have the ability to love because if you're not a soul being, you don't have the ability to love. They're going to try to pull on our heartstrings and make, and play on us, especially these divine feminists and these Andromeda and Sectilian women because we love goddesses. Don't believe that shit. That motherfucker don't love you. But, it's like, you gotta, oh, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. You have to, they're going to try this shit, yeah, they're having a spiritual awakening. Now that's true. And they're remembering everything. They're remembering that you're their divine counterpart and their twin and their twin flame and stuff. They remember that. But they don't have a soul. So they'll use that to their advantage in order to play you. They'll use that information to their advantage in order to take advantage of you and to use you. Don't let them do that shit. We got to stay on top. It's up to us at this point as matriarchal women to dominate the system, to stay in position. Let your divine counterpart, I know my karmic twin flame, his genetics out here fucking everything in sight. He doing all the grunt work. You understand? While my vagina stays pH balanced, STD free. Okay? And he's doing all the grunt work, yet I'm dominating above him. I'm dominating. I'm playing my position and playing my role and dominating in the system as a 5D matriarchal being. And this is what's at this point, this is what's happening. You know, they're doing all the grunt work and they're still, you know, what the devil meant for your bad, God meant for your good. So don't let them play you like that. Because they're getting downloads. You know what I'm saying? They're getting the divine masculine is getting the downloads from the divine, but they don't have a soul. Where every, you know, if you don't have a soul, it's like not having an engine for your car. You don't have a soul, then it's like, you know, you have nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just have a shell of a being. I think it's dangerous that divine masculine is getting the spiritual downloads. You know, maybe he is aware of who we are to him and things like that, but he's going to use that to his advantage to try to play you. And we don't have time for this fuck shit. We don't have time for that bullshit. Don't let him do it, divine feminine. Don't let him do it. Okay? What I'm thinking is going to happen, this is just my, you know, educated guess, my hypothesis. For the remainder of 3D, divine masculine ain't gonna be about shit. He's still gonna be soulless. He's still gonna be running around this bitch, you know, looking for pussy. He's still gonna be, fool fucking and funning, fight or flight. He don't give a fuck about himself. He don't give a fuck about the hoes. He don't give a fuck about the karmic. He just give a fuck about fucking, busting a nut, and what? The material world. Getting money, getting hoes, money, and clothes. That's about all divine masculine care about because he need energy and he want to be pretty. You know, he wanted to replace the Andromeda Insectillion. He want to be beautiful like me. Okay, he want to be cute. He wanted to be the salacious ebony queen. You know, so to me, because for the remainder of 3D, the reptilian has control of him. You see what I'm saying? It's up to us to stay on top. Cause he'll try to get the upper hand on you, divine feminine. Don't let him do that. Until until the divine says something otherwise, until he has a soul or whatever, I don't want shit to do with divine masculine. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of them, and I got a few divine masculines. I got about, let me think. I could think off the rip 4 of them. And they don't have a soul. I got one though that do got a soul. But then I got my husband that's Anunnaki. Like I said, I'm a love goddess. You know, I don't have just one dude that be one extraterrestrial lineage that is seeking me out. You know, I have a few. You know, the Anunnaki, the Draco, and my own bloodline, the Andromeda. That's pretty much it. That's all you need. So, but you know, like I said, I have my Anunnaki alliance. He has a soul. I'm good. That's all the soul being I need. I don't need all these other ones. But you're gonna. It's unfortunate that divine masculine does not have a soul as a collective, because that's the glue that brings everything together. That's like it's what makes everything meaningful. He's a person when he has a soul. When he doesn't have a soul, he's a zombie. So I do feel that it's dangerous that, well, you know, it is what it is. We got to start somewhere. Divine feminine got to be smart. Divine feminine got to be sharp. But I do feel it's dangerous that he is getting these downloads and he's having this spiritual awakening and he doesn't have a soul, because you don't want him to be able to use that information to get you to against you or to get at you. You know what I'm saying? Stay strong, divine feminine. Just know that this motherfucker ain't shit and that he deserves to get all of the repercussions and all of the karma that he inflicted on you. You know, I have a divine masculine that had plans to get me pregnant with my daughter, a spirit baby, and douse us both with gasoline and set us on fire. These are the type of plans that divine masculine had for some of us. You hearing about these situations with these women that are mothers being chopped up, their bodies being put in garbage bags, hidden around the house, being burned alive. These are the type of things, the heinous, horrific things that they're trying to do to us as we're coming into home court advantage matriarchy. These are the same things that happened to divine masculine when he had a soul as we were coming out of home court advantage matriarchy. So they did it to him first when he had a soul. Now they're trying to do it to us when we have a soul. We've been had a soul, the divine feminine. And these are the reptilian agendas. Because once divine masculine chose the karmic over us, the next agenda, because they didn't want the shift in consciousness to happen, the next agenda was for the divine feminine to be completely killed, for us to be turned into a byword, which is ridiculous. Okay. So this was the next agenda to be done. Because narcissists, they don't know when to stop. They didn't want this shift in consciousness to happen. And they figured if they killed off the divine feminine, pretty much all of us, they could stop the shift in consciousness or delay it. But the thing is, like with my bloodline, we're immortal beings. The Andromeda Insectilian is an immortal being. You shoot me, I'm gonna come back. They killed me all 3 timelines in my past lives. I had a karmic male. My karmic male twin flame kept drowning me and shit. You know what I'm saying? He was on a murder suicide situation in my last lifetime. He killed me and killed himself. They do this shit. Because they figure that they own the divine feminine. Because see, they learning about the divine masculine is learning about the twin flame unions, and they learning about all this shit. So they figure they own us. And they see that you're coming online with a cycle, and they want to use you for your benefit, and they don't want to take no for an answer. Narcissists don't like rejection. But keep in mind and rest assured that the divine feminine is fully protected. Your ancestors have you fully protected. Like my bishop said, Bishop Stillwell, they're going to be trying to get to you, but they won't be able to. So don't worry about a thing. You just keep living your life, and you just keep doing what you do. You may get phone calls. You may have people playing on your phone and things like that, because I have that all the time. I got karmics calling me, asking for Judith and shit. I got people texting me talking about Dorothy and all of this shit. So, you're gonna get bullshit because they're letting you know that they're not doing good. Okay? They're letting you know that they're not doing good and they're miserable, and they see you happy. You're on social media, your skin is literally glowing, the divine feminine, because of the soul energy, the fifth dimensional energy, and your good skincare routines and things like that. You're literally glowing and you're looking purified and gorgeous. And a lot of us, it's not even the materialism. you know I mean, my husband and I, we have a decent situation or whatever, but it's like we're not materialistic people. And they're into materialism, but yet they see something in you, and now they're attracted to that. I guess it's that light of the divine being. And they're coming to try to snuff that light out and predicate themselves upon and dominate over you again. But they've all, like my bishop said, they've already done that. They're coming to try to recycle you. They've already done this. So my guess is divine masculine, he gonna be fucked up for the next 3 timelines. He the new dark skinned black woman in 3D. He the most subjugated motherfucker. The Andromeda Insectilian male over here, they the most subjugated. Them and the Andromedans are the most subjugated motherfuckers under the Reptilian Federation in 3D. And they gonna stay that way for the next 3 timelines. And they gonna keep just doing the fuck shit. They under the same program, no soul. One insectilian come around, then another insectilian come around, they gonna fall for it. One reptilian come around, then another reptilian come around, they're gonna fall for it. One Duro reptilian comes around, then another Duro reptilian comes around, the Andromeda and the Andromeda insectilian, he's gonna fall for it. Dumb as fuck. And all they're gonna do is use, abuse, and misuse him and subjugate him once again in that system. It's like, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go. For instance, you had Kanye West and Kim K. Kanye comes from the Andromedan bloodline. His mother was a full Andromedan. Beautiful. Now that's a beautiful, beautiful being. Yes, Dr. West. Oh my God, she is rare. Beautiful being. And he should be so happy and thankful that that was his mother. Seriously. I don't mean to digress, but he's Andromedan thanks to her beautiful self. And he has reptilian on the recessive side. Some reptilian on the recessive side. He got with a being, Kim Kardashian, which is a full insectilian. The Andromedan does not have an alliance with the insectilian. The insectilian had an alliance with the reptilian. Okay? Which would be an entity like Kris Jenner. So of course, she's going to always side with her mother. The insectilian is going to side with the reptilian. So that's where they went wrong. That's why they having all this. That's one reason they probably having all this drama now. But that's a whole nother story. My point is that the Andromedan didn't have an alliance with the insectilian. So when you marry women outside of your nation, you better be careful who you marry. You better make sure that that extraterrestrial bloodline had alliance with your bloodline. That's where he went wrong. All our black men go wrong with that shit. When they that industry shit, they pretty much all have went that bloodline, the Andromedan bloodline. All them black men went wrong because they all got with women who have zero alliance with their bloodline. As a matter of fact, they have alliances with the reptilian bloodline. They all got by that Duro, that insectilian, and that reptilian. And then when she chose her karmic, she chose over the Andromedan male and chose her reptilian bloodline. Now they looking stupid. You see what I'm saying? But that's how, that's where it's at. But let me just say this: divine masculine, he ain't changing no time soon. If y'all women out here hoping that your twin flame change or whatever, don't hold your breath. That motherfucker gonna stay fucked up probably for the remainder of 3D, because the reptilians they got it on lock. The remainder of 3D they took over what's left of it, and he's subjugated by them. I'm not saying God can't work a miracle. I'm not saying the ancestors can't work a miracle, but the Reptilian Federation got control of all karmic males, including our karmic males from the divine. So to me, it's said and done. He already made his choice for the remainder of 3D. There's no going back. So, yeah, I ain't trying to hear shit they got to say. Fuck that. I ain't trying to hear shit. But I just noticed that it's like one thing about black women, for instance, when we don't want to fuck with you, we don't want to fuck with you. The woman, we can live without a man. The men, they need coupling. They can't live without a woman, especially when they don't have a soul. See, that's the thing. They don't have a soul. You see what I'm saying? That's where it's at. So that's why they want to couple up with women. Well, you done coupled up with women that have alliances with a whole nother bloodline that's anti-you. Because reptilians do not like Andromedans. So you done got with an insectilian, you done got with a Duro, you done got with a reptilian, you an Andromedan or an Andromedan insectilian male, you done got with a bitch who got an alliance, who is or who has an alliance with a reptilian who hates your ass. So in 3D, it looked like the black man hate his goddamn self because he done got with this entity. You see what I'm saying? Like the Bible says, be careful when you marry women of other nations. Okay, this is what I'm explaining on the extraterrestrial level and why this is true. So, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. I hope that you guys got something out of this. I don't want to I feel like I'm repeating myself. So I'm gonna get off and I have some other things to do, but I hope you all got something out of this. The information that I'm giving you guys. It's nice to talk to you all, and I'll just see you later. Once again, this is Genesis with Genesis, the beginning of something beautiful. And goodbye.